Welcome to the Killer Author Club. 3 best-selling authors talking about killing, of the fictional kind, with the best thriller and suspense authors in the business. Killer conversations, killer cocktails, and killer guests, with your hosts, Kimberly Bell, Heather Gutenkopf, and Kara Ruda. This is the Killer Author Club.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to tonight's Killer Author Club, your favorite haunt for all things murder, mystery, and mayhem. Tonight, we are so excited to welcome killer sensation Elise Hart Kipness to the Killer Author Club hot seat. We have all kinds of questions about Close Call, so get ready to kill the lights. I'm Killer Kara Ruda.
I'm Killer Elise.
I'm Killer Heather Gutenkopf.
And I'm Killer Kimberly Bell.
And before we dive into Lisa's book, a couple of quick PSAs. Tonight's show will be available on your favorite podcasting app starting this Friday with exclusive added content only for podcast listeners. Links to download are at killerauthorclub.com. And make sure you're on our newsletter list. It's where we drop all the killer breaking news first, including our 2026 schedule. That's right. Be the first to know which blockbuster names you can't wait to see. We'll announce it in this month's newsletter, so sign up. And speaking of breaking news, I love that thing. Have you heard the latest about The Widows? Wicked Wanted Widows by Kimberly Bell, along with Killer alums Kate Houlihan and Vanessa Lilly, is out now as an Audible original.
Woohoo!
But wait, there's more. Amazon wants to take the Young Rich Widows series from your headphones to your TV screens. That's right. The books have been optioned by Amazon Studios. Yay!
Yay. Congratulations. That's so exciting.
Thank you. I'm super excited. I think it'll make a great show.
Oh, for sure. Well, you have to keep us posted on
For sure.
everything that comes up next.
We need all the inside scoop, all of us in the Killer Author Club first.
Always.
Yes. And now moving on to other very exciting things. Heather, would you please introduce our killer guest?
It would be my honor. Elise Hart Kipness is a national TV sports reporter turned USA Today-bestselling author of the Kate Green series, which has been optioned by a major network for TV development. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Wow. TV shows all around. Yay. As a reporter, Elise has covered events including the Olympics, the NBA and NCAA Championships, and the US Open. She's a graduate of Brown University, an instructor at the Westport Writers Workshop, a board member of Friends of Key West Library, and the co-founding president of the Connecticut chapter of Sisters in Crime. You're not busy. You're not busy at all, are
not
you?
at all. Not at all. Yeah.
When not writing.
All of us, right? Like who isn't, right?
Yeah.
When not writing, Elise loves reading, binge watching thrillers, and she will fight you for the last scoop of coffee ice cream.
I'll fight you for
I
it.
know. We have so many questions about Close Call, but can you start with a quick elevator pitch?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is the third Kate Green book, and in it, Kate is offered her Emmy win for her weekly sports TV show, because, like, of course, she should have won an Emmy, right? And she's covering 2 female players at the US Open, one a brash veteran and one an upstart. Then one goes missing and the other starts receiving ominous messages from the kidnapper. So Kate needs to figure out what's going on there.
So good. Well, we loved it. We have so many questions, but readers, we want you to get chatty and drop your questions in the comments to ask Killer Elise. But first, Kimberly, what are we drinking today?
We are drinking the Honey Deuce cocktail. That's what Killer Elise chose as her special drink. So Elise, please tell us what's so awesome about that. Now, first of all, look at that.
So good.
Tell us about
Okay, so it's not as pretty as the picture you had, and this one's like, this ball is really 2 halves because I couldn't figure out how to scoop the whole thing. It is the official drink of the US Open. So, I had to pick it. But
Nice.
Honestly, I'm a wine girl, so that's my favorite drink.
So you're not going to cheers with that. You're just going to hold it up.
I mean, it's a great prop. And if you can see, there are tennis balls on this glass. It was a present from, I think, someone who's a guest on your show coming up from Tessa Weger. She got me the glass.
Nice.
Ah, sweet.
That's awesome. I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, we created the Killer Author Club so readers can get close and personal with their favorite thriller writers. This season's lineup is killers. We have Chevy Stevens, Tessa Weger, as just mentioned, Nicole Bart, and our very own killer Heather, plus so many more. For dates, times, past episodes, you know where to go, killerauthorclub.com. But tonight, it's all about Close Call, the third book in the best-selling Kate Green series. The series has received widespread acclaim, earning recognition as a Men's Journal Top 10 Book of the Year, a Woman's Day must-read selection, a Scripps News Beach Read pick, a News 12 Connecticut suspense thriller recommendation, and a Fresh Fiction subscription box selection, along with, of course, being an instant USA Today bestseller. Close Call is a crime-spree, most anticipated summer read. Tess Gerritsen says, with its bracing twists and turns, this thriller is an immensely entertaining dive into the high-octane world of competitive tennis. And whip start smart and instantly entertaining, says Hank Philippi Ryan. So, Elise, clearly you are a highly sought-after killer, and now we need to know your answer to the killer question. Who do you kill?
Ooh, well, okay. I can't tell you who because you have to read the book, but I can tell you how I decided who and where they would be. I went back to the US Open and I was with my son. I was doing some research and we're watching a match on the outer courts. And all of a sudden I run out and get on the concourse and I'm chasing something and I take a picture and I come back and he's like, why did you leave the match? And I hold out my phone and I'm like, I just found the perfect place to hide a body. And it was this like giant refrigeration, unit being rolled around on a dolly. So I know where it should go. Although maybe this book has that, maybe it doesn't, but it's in my brain for where someone who's killed should be stored.
Absolutely.
I
Wow.
love it.
We're always searching, right? We're always searching for
Right.
that perfect crime.
Oh, yeah.
That's
That's
great.
perfect. Okay, so one of our comments is, are you a tennis player, Elise? So we should get that out of the way right up front.
Okay, so yes, I write about sports, and tennis is the only sport that I really dabbled in. So I did play on my freshman high school team. I was last doubles. And I'm one of those people that I'm really not bad and I have like a good backhand, but I get nervous when I play competitive sports. And so I would freeze, I would literally get in my head and play worse than I'm capable. And, I only lasted freshman year. I love going and hitting the ball and playing, but I really am not good at being competitive. I'd rather be on the sidelines for that.
Mm.
Wait,
But you're a fan, right? I mean, you go to the US Open, you must love watching it.
Oh, yeah. I grew up about 30 minutes from the US Open. I grew up in Long Island in Great Neck. So that was the event that we all went to. And it was amazing. I mean, it was everything we did. We would go. And then I covered the US Open and I interviewed Venus Williams, which is one of the highlights of my career, really. She is the nicest person. She's so down to earth. And the room that I interviewed her in, because it was a one-on-one interview, is the room that I base one of the interviews that Kate did on when she's interviewing the older player, the veteran. So it brought back a lot of stuff. And then I did go back to do some research with my son. But when you're a crime writer, right, it's like you're looking at things sideways. So we're again like at Arthur Ashe Stadium, and he's watching the match, and he's looking down, and I'm like looking up at the wires and thinking, "Ooh, what if a cable broke?" How can I kill people fictionally?
Of course.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I love it.
Well, we were talking. Okay, so Kate Green is a fascinating protagonist, and this is her third appearance. An Olympian turned Emmy-winning reporter who keeps landing in danger. How has her character evolved since Lights Out and Dangerous Play? And what did you want to explore in this third outing with her?
I think that Kate has really matured. She's always been loyal. She's always been fierce, but I think sometimes her loyalty and even her fierceness have made her make, in the beginning, like snap decisions and put blinders on, like not see everything for all around her and not analyze things as well as she should. And there's a progression that happens during the books. In the second book, in Dangerous Play, she goes back the murder, which takes place at Yankee Stadium, but it's about soccer. Because the Olympics is being held at Yankee Stadium. Um, she visits her time as a youth national player and what happened, girl, teens, drama, like the whole 9 yards. Um, and I think that like brings an awareness to her about things she assumed happened back then, like the good guys, the bad guys are more gray. And so I think she comes into close call with more maturity, and both in her personal life, where there's a backstory that's going on there, but also in how she handles and cooperates with the police in close call to solve the crime.
Mhm.
Well, this story, it has everything. So there's secrets, betrayals, family ties. So how do you balance, the tension and the adrenaline of a thriller, but with the real life of Kate and her like estrangement with her dad? How do you balance that between pushing forward with this thriller and getting into the emotional human side?
This book was the hardest book I wrote of the three. And I think the answer to that is just a lot of edits. Um,
Mhm.
I started the book out, and my husband Rob is one of my first readers, and he and Karen, my agent Liza, who also looks at things early, and I was like, "Ooh, this isn't quite as good as the other ones," and I really think there was a lot of exposition at the beginning, and I had to get out of my way, but I guess I had to sort of figure out where I was going, and then. I think this is the most thrillery book of mine because it's the kidnapping is happening in real time versus a murder happens and then they're trying to solve it. So it was a new challenge for me. Um, but I really tried to keep the pacing quick. And when I went back to edit, I was really taking things out.
That's
Um,
hard. Isn't it hard?
It is
Does
hard.
it like kill you to have to cut things?
it doesn't. It's so funny. I know it's like that with everyone else, but I am like, I know it doesn't. And I don't know if it's because when I was a reporter, I had a minute and a half if it was a long story, and that included the sound bites and just everything. So, um, yeah, I don't get that attached to, there are
Mhm.
certain things that I won't give on. Like
Mhm.
I wrote for 20 years as a reporter in the present tense, so that's what comes to me, writing in the
Yeah.
present tense. And, one day I might challenge myself. In Dangerous Play, there were flashbacks that were in the past tense, but that's what comes. And if you ask me to write a whole book in the past tense, I especially the first ones, like I would almost have had to say no because I don't think I would have enjoyed it and I don't think I would have been good at it. But if there are like little things here or there or big chunks, then I don't know. Yeah, I don't get very attached in that
Mm.
way.
It's good.
That's a good skill to have as an author because it hurts every time you have to throw away text. So,
Yeah, I just, yeah.
speaking of text, there's a sinister text message that kind of changes everything without giving too much away. Um, let's talk about the role of technology in this story and how you used it to raise the stakes.
Yeah, and isn't it so hard these days? Like your you want your protagonist to be somewhere where there's a big storm and there's no electronics because it would make it easier to like raise stakes, and now you have to, be aware that phones can be pinged from anywhere and all this stuff. Um, I guess it just made sense to have a young player, especially who's constantly on her phone, be involved without giving away which one is doing it, and she's the one who comes out on the court and has her phone playing a role where she's showing the crowd and everything. This is the phone, like I'm way
Knew what
there.
you're doing.
And she
Yeah.
gets out on the court and she has her phone facing out, which I actually based also on something that I had experienced. I was covering the NCAA Final Four in Tampa a long time ago when there were no phones and there were only video cameras. And Shane Battier came out for Duke, and he came off the bus and pointed a video camera at the media, and I just like that stayed in with me. So I thought that's such a cool little detail, and I'm going to steal it for something. Um, but I guess technology, especially in a story that involves a reporter, kind of has to be woven in as much as possible. I think it's challenging, Wish it would all go away and we could like have a little more time with our characters and finding things out.
Or you could set your books in the 80s like I did. That was actually a very pleasant part of it, is we didn't have to deal with all the technology because it's ever changing, and it's hard to include technology in a book that in a way that doesn't date it, because you don't know what you don't know, what's going to happen. And yeah, so it is.
Yeah, no, that's a good thing. I actually had spoken with someone from the FBI for this book. I had like a list of questions, and they were really nice and got on the phone with me and helped me a lot with the technology questions, like what would be the first things they look for in a kidnapping, and what could they accomplish with the technology. And it was funny because they're like, the guy was like, okay, this is plausible. It's not accurate, but it's plausible because I wanted whiteboards, in the room that they're figuring everything out in their war room. And he's like, mostly we're like we're like on chalkboards or whatever. But if you want like that, oh no, I wanted a smart board. And he was like, it's whiteboards. He's like, but you go for it. Like that's believable, even though our budget doesn't have that.
Funny.
Yeah.
So how did you
was
find this guy? Did you just call up the FBI and be like, hi, I'm an author and I have questions?
Not exactly, but somebody I knew, another author, was like, you can just reach out to them and they're very open to helping you. And she gave me an email for the public relations office, but I'm sure it's just generally available. And they were really, really helpful. They had me send a list of questions. I had like 23 questions. They let me record it for my own use. And it made a big difference because, before I was a sports reporter, I was a news reporter and I covered a lot of murder. So I feel like I knew murder, but I didn't know kidnapping. So I really like felt a little bit like I needed help with that. Have you guys ever reached out to the FBI? No.
I didn't do FBI. I did ATF, and that was really interesting. Yeah. So I imagine there's a lot of crossover with that, but yeah, he was very helpful, and it's fascinating.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, I reached out to Heather. Heather, you should have taken his number.
Well, yeah, we have a fun story. Someday we're going to share.
One day we'll tell
Like
it.
involved
Yeah.
with something
Oh
that
my gosh. Yeah, you never want it to be the other way around, is what we decided.
No.
That's right.
we did
We
not
did
want
nothing
that
wrong.
along.
We did nothing
Yeah.
wrong, but it was Story for another day.
I know. So, okay. So so as a former reporter and a journalist and a TV, so when you're deciding what your setting is going to be for Kate's books, like how do you go about which sport, and did you pick only places that you've been to and covered, or did you pick places you wanted to go to and cover?
I picked places that I had been. The NBA was the first sport that I had covered, so I did lights out at the NBA, and then I really wanted to place a book um, with soccer, and I had covered the Olympics. I was brought to California because I worked for Fox Sports Network, and they're based in California, but I was part of the East Coast bureau, and I anchored the night shift because Sydney, it was during the Sydney Olympics, and I guess it was night for us, it was day for them. Yeah. And I covered it, but my son plays soccer. He plays D1 soccer. And so I was really excited about delving into soccer because I saw that from all different angles. And then the US Open was something I covered. But to get back to your question, it was really after the first book, it was really a combination with my editor, like, what do you think of this? What do you think of that? And we kind of came to it together. We decided to keep them all within the New York area because I did have like a story I thought I could do with the Orange Bowl, but we went US Open instead.
Yeah.
So
It's
I'm a
fun.
huge, as everybody knows, a WNBA fan. Is there any way Kate will cover a mystery with WNBA in the future?
Oh, I love that you're a WNBA fan. Well, Kate is taking a hiatus. I'm starting a new series.
Oh,
So,
exciting.
yeah, about a news reporter. Yeah, I stay in my wheelhouse. But if I was going to do a fourth Kate book, the sport that's in my mind is to cover something at spring training for baseball,
Oh, yeah.
because I used to spend a month at a time in Florida, like going from one camp to the other to the other. And it's just a different vibe. They're so relaxed, the players, like when I was at the Yankees, Bernie Williams is playing his guitar, and like Joe Torre recommended where my husband and I should go on our honeymoon. It's like so different. And I think it's an atmosphere in a place that hasn't really been the setting for a lot of books. So that's where I would go if a fourth Kate book popped up and my editor was up for that.
Yeah. Well, we're excited to learn more about when you're ready to learn more about your new series. That's
Yeah.
really fun.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
I think it's giveaway time.
It is giveaway time. So Elise and her publisher is so generous. They're giving away 5 copies of Close Call, 5 of them. And so it doesn't matter where you're watching. We scour the comments everywhere we stream, but please make sure to shout out where you're from when you answer this very, very difficult question. We made it multiple choice, so we're helping you out a little bit. As a reporter, which topic was Elise's topic of expertise? Is it A, politics, B, social commentary, C, art and music, or D, sports? I know that's a tough one, but drop your answers in the comments and we will choose 5 lucky winners.
Good luck. That's right.
So easy.
So the Killers are big fans of independent booksellers, and we want to support the ones in our killer authors love. Elise has chosen Books and Books in Key West as her special store tonight, which is, I don't know, Key West seems very far away from New York. So tell us why you chose this bookstore.
My husband and I spend half the year in Key West. We are actually in Florida more than we are in Connecticut, where I am right now. And Books and Books is an amazing store. It's owned by Judy Bloom, and it's run by the amazing Emily Berg. And it's just a wonderful bookstore, and it's so supportive of the literary community. in Key West. I'm very involved with the library. I'm on the board of the Friends of Key West Library, and there are booksellers, the Key West Books and Books, and it's just a great place. And yeah, I love it.
Love it. Well, I want to go there one day. I just dropped the link in the comments so you can order Close Call along with any of the others on your wish list.
That's right. And obviously, the killers love to read, and we love it when you guys share what you're reading in our Facebook group. Post pictures, write reviews, ask for recommendations, and give yours. Tonight, we want to know, Elise, what are you currently reading?
Well, it's an author you may have heard of. I got an early copy of Kara Ruda's new book, We Were Never Friends, and I'm loving it. I love sorority sister kind of stories. So I'm very hooked, and I'm very honored to have gotten an early copy, Kara. So thank you for that. And yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing.
Aw, thanks, Elise. That was nice of you. Okay, now moving on. Thank you. Okay, I don't know why I'm getting on. Okay, anyway, so speaking of awesome books, we're so excited to have a killer alumni to celebrate again tonight. That's right, A Killer Motive by Hannah Mary McKinnon is out today. And here's what our own killer Heather had to say about A Killer Motive. A world-class whodunit that has everything a thriller lover is looking for. A killer premise, an earth-shattering crime, a true crime podcaster with everything to lose, and a cast of shady characters and twists around every corner. My fingers are singed from flying through the pages. I love that, Heather. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, Hannah Mary is giving away 2 copies to lucky U.S. winners. So shout out in the comments if you want to enter, and make sure you let us know where you're from.
And we have 2 more fabulous new releases that we want to celebrate tonight. First, we have The New Order by Claire Isenthal, the second book in her The Rising Order duology. So find her. Chicago has fallen, and Flynn Zaritsky, an unwilling accomplice in the city's takeover by a terrorist regime, has gone into hiding. Alliances are formed and tested as Flynn, Nate, and their comrades create an ambitious plan that could save the nation or get them all killed. Ooh, intriguing. And next we have Lime Juice Money by Joe Morey. With the sultry atmosphere and ratcheting tension of The White Lotus, The Mosquito Coast, and 9 Perfect Strangers, Joe Morey's debut literary thriller Lime Juice Money is an intoxicating and sensuous read which follows a woman trapped in an increasingly volatile relationship 5,000 miles from home in a Central American jungle. Claire is giving away both books in the Rising Order duology to 2 very lucky U.S. winners, and Joe is giving away 3 copies of Lime Juice Money, also to U.S. viewers. Comment if you want in and tell us where you're from. Good luck.
I love your knife on
Yeah,
that graphic.
it's subtle, isn't it? Mhm. Yeah.
Yes, and we don't want you to forget the Killer's latest books.
That's right. We Were Never Friends by Killer Kara, a thriller about a sorority reunion weekend turned deadly, is now available for pre-order. Oh, and look at that cover.
Yeah,
Woo!
we keep doing a cover reveal.
Yeah, we'll just keep doing that. It's very exciting. It's a very exciting cover. Okay, and speaking of deadly parties, check out Heather's upcoming thriller, The Perfect Host, about an over-the-top gender reveal party that goes off the rails. Pre-order this one out in November.
And or travel to Amsterdam in Kimberly's latest, The Expat Affair, and follow 2 American expats into the deadly world of Amsterdam's diamond trade.
Woohoo. So if you are on Facebook, don't miss our private members only group, the Killer Author Club. Every episode, we pull a name from the hat and give away exclusive swag. Join the group and check out all the goods at killerauthorclub.com. The link is right there at the very bottom. And tonight's winner is Nancy Timmerman. Nancy, congrats. Please send one of us killers your address and we will send some swag your way. If you would like to be the next winner, then join us. Link is coming up in the comments. Also, a big killer thanks to Book Reporter for sharing the murdery love. Stay up to date on bookish news and events at bookreporter.com.
And Elise, we have some very good news for you. You have survived the Killer Author Club.
I'm still alive.
Can you tell us where readers can find you?
Yes, I'm on Instagram. That's the one the social I'm most active on. My name, Elise Hart Kipness, and my website, which has links to everything, which is also myname.com.
Okay, great. Oh, and that does it for tonight's episode. Thanks to everybody for tuning in. We'll be back in 2 weeks with Chevy Stevens in the Killer Hot Seat to answer all your burning questions about her new thriller, The Hitchhikers. In the meantime, please find us wasting entirely too much time on Instagram and Facebook and occasionally TikTok. For times and upcoming schedule, past episodes, recipes, and merch, surf to killerauthorclub.com. Thanks for being part of the club, and thanks for being here, Elise.
Thank you. This was so fun.
Thank you.
That does it for tonight's show. Thank you for tuning in. If you'd like to catch our next show live, we're every other Tuesday night on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. For times, upcoming schedule, and to catch up on past episodes, visit us at killerauthorclub.com. Happy reading. Now get on out there and kill that TBR.